Imagine a plant so resilient that it can grow in the cracks of scorching asphalt, on the most barren roadsides, and in the gaps between sidewalk tiles. Most of us pass by it without a second glance, or ruthlessly rip it from our garden beds, calling it a persistent weed. Around the world, we spend billions of dollars on herbicides to destroy it, and then we head to the pharmacy and spend billions more on fish oil capsules and synthetic vitamins. But what if I told you that this weed contains 5 times more omega-3 fatty acids than spinach, and several times more antioxidants than elite varieties of farm-grown berries? This plant is called common purslane. To the modern food industry, it is an invasive pest. To ancient civilizations and leading nutritionists today, it is the most powerful and accessible superfood on the planet, literally lying right beneath our feet. Why have we forgotten about it? And why does the multi-hundred-billion-dollar supplement industry do everything it can to keep purslane on the list of trash plants? Today, we reveal the truth about the most underrated source of life on Earth. We will break down its biochemistry, its incredible history, and how this weed can become your insurance policy in the event of any food crisis. To understand the scale of our loss, we need to look at how this plant is built from the inside. Purslane is a true biological phenomenon. Hidden within its succulent, fleshy leaves is a unique type of omega-3 called alpha-linolenic acid. Research shows that purslane contains more of it than any other green leafy plant on Earth. Omega-3 fatty acids are critically important for our brain function, heart health, and the fight against chronic inflammation, the root cause of most modern diseases. Most people are used to getting them from oily fish. Now let's be honest, the world's oceans are contaminated with mercury, microplastics, and heavy metals. Industrial fishing depletes ecosystems, and fish oil in capsules often turns rancid and toxic before it even hits the store shelf. Purslane, however, gives you clean, plant-based energy without the risk of heavy metal poisoning. This is omega-3 inches, its primal, protected form. But omega-3 is just the tip of the iceberg. Purslane is a living accumulator of micronutrients. It contains extreme levels of vitamin E, vitamin C, and beta-carotene. It literally pumps itself full of magnesium, calcium, and potassium from the soil. Hippocrates, the ancient Greek physician known as the father of medicine, used it to treat internal inflammation and cleanse the body. In the Middle East, it has been called the blessed vegetable for centuries. And in classical Chinese medicine, purslane is known as the herb of longevity. So why, in the modern Western world, is it considered enemy number 1 for the perfect lawn? The answer lies in the radical transformation of agriculture in the mid-20th century. With the rise of large agrochemical corporations, the human dietary model was artificially narrowed. The industry needed crops that were easy to standardize, easy to harvest with combines, and, most importantly, easy to store in warehouses for long periods. Corn, wheat, and soy became the staples of our diet not because they are the most healthy, but because they are the most profitable for logistics. Everything else was declared a weed. Purslane became a victim of this system because it is too independent. It cannot be patented. It grows on its own. It doesn't need your purchased fertilizers. It doesn't need intensive irrigation. It thrives where other cultivated plants die. This makes it a nightmare for a system that lives by selling you seeds and chemicals. For decades, the marketing machine has convinced us that food must be bought in a supermarket in bright, sterile packaging. We were conditioned to believe that wild means dangerous, dirty, or primitive. As a result, we have a historical paradox. Modern humans suffer from a deep micronutrient deficiency while living in an ocean of free vitamins. By weeding purslane out of your garden, you are literally throwing the most valuable thing your land has grown into the trash bin. Let's dive into the biochemistry of survival. Purslane is a succulent. It uses a special type of photosynthesis that allows it to close its pores during the day to avoid losing moisture, and open them at night to absorb carbon dioxide. This incredible adaptability makes it a concentrate of antioxidants. The plant produces them in massive quantities to protect its cells from sun radiation and heat. When you eat purslane, these protective mechanisms, honed by millions of years of evolution, begin to work inside your body. No synthetic pill can transmit this synergy of living elements. But purslane is beneficial for more than just humans. It is a great regenerator of the earth. In the vault of lost knowledge, we often speak of dynamic accumulator plants. Purslane is one of the best at this job. Its powerful penetrating root system can break through even the most compacted, hardened soil, loosening it and pulling minerals from deep layers inaccessible to ordinary vegetables. It works like a pump, bringing the gold of nutrients to the surface. When purslane covers the ground with its fleshy leaves, it creates a living mulch. This protects the soil's microworld from overheating and drying out. Beneath a carpet of purslane, life is always teeming. Beneficial bacteria and worms multiply there. It doesn't steal nutrition from your tomatoes or peppers, as herbicide sellers claim. On the contrary, it prepares a richer and moister soil for them. It is the perfect partner in a permaculture system. If you decide to return this plant to your diet, you need to discover its culinary secret. Purslane is a clock plant. Its taste is cyclical. If you pick it early in the morning, it will be noticeably tart and bracing. This is because malic acid accumulates in its leaves overnight. By noon, under the action of the sun, the acid is converted, and the taste becomes milder, nutty, with a slight hint of pepper. This makes it a unique ingredient that can change the palate of a dish depending on the time of harvest. In the cuisine of many countries, purslane never stopped being a star. In Turkey, it is added to yogurt sauces and salads with garlic. In Mexico, it is stewed with pork or beans. In Lebanon, it is an essential component of the famous fattoush salad. Its stems can be pickled like capers, and its leaves can be used instead of spinach in any recipe. Its texture, juicy and crunchy, is not lost even with light heat treatment. Why do doctors and nutritionists on television remain silent about its benefits? Look at who sponsors medical conferences and health programs. It is the manufacturers of drugs and synthetic supplements. It is not profitable for them for you to know that the cure for high blood pressure, inflammation, and omega-3 deficiency is growing under your porch. They need you to feel sick and dependent. Purslane is a manifesto of independence. It is food that cannot be taxed, cannot be taken away, and cannot be destroyed by any crisis. In the event of food supply disruptions, those who know how to recognize purslane will have access to a source of protein and fats that others will be trampling under their feet. Of course, it is important to remember the rules of foraging. Never take purslane growing along busy roads. Like any sponge accumulator, it can absorb lead from exhaust fumes. Also, avoid areas that have been treated with lawn chemicals. Look for it in your garden, in the woods, or in clean zones. It is easily recognizable by its smooth, spade-shaped leaves and the characteristic reddish tint of its stems. Once you learn to see it, you will find that abundance has always been near you. We live in an era of a great turning point. We are rediscovering terra preta. We are studying the forgotten properties of weeds, and we are returning to our tables what was unjustly exiled by industrial dictatorship. Purslane is one of the most important keys to our biological freedom. Your health is not the result of buying the most expensive insurance. It is the result of your understanding of how the world around you works. Start trusting nature more than a bright label. Start seeing value in what seems simple and ordinary. And then your garden will stop being a place of exhausting struggle and turn into a true oasis of strength and life. The next time you see purslane in your yard, don't reach for the hoe. Stop and thank this earth. It has grown the best medicine for you, completely free of charge. Nature spent millions of years creating this perfect concentrate of life, and it is waiting just for you.